The Optimist Show is about news, information, entertainment, and activism. Welcome to the Optimist Show podcast, and we want to welcome all of you wherever you are this time, and thank you very much for joining us as we continue to keep hope alive. The Optimist Show brings you the information as it is, and so we are glad to be with you today so that we can share together. Please like and share, subscribe to our channel, The Optimist Show, keeping hope alive.
Oh, Jah, Father, how many times you have called on mankind to fall in line? How many times you have shown us the signs, but we paid no mind. Locked up in vanity, there got to be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them, if together we can do this thing, honestly, protect the rights of everybody, the world will be a better place, where we can live together. Oh, Jah Jah, protect us with your love. Me tell your Father, demand them, spoil the world with their inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy. Them spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb, we in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah,
protect us with your love.
Oh, Father, please
Protect us with your love.
How many times Babylon I try to trample me right? Me tell your Father in broad daylight, them put up a fight with a holy hype and oppression. There must be another way. I told my folks one day, me tell them, if together we can do this thing, honestly, protect the rights of everybody, the world will be a better place, where we can live together. Oh, Jah Jah,
Protect us with your love.
I say demand them, spoil the world with their inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy. Them spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Spoil the world from the womb to the tomb, we in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh, Father, please
Protect us with your love.
what can be done to convince the man to put down the guns and the bombs? Cause all where you turn is bomb after bomb, and more poor people dying. There gotta be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them, if together we can do this thing, honestly, protect the rights of everybody, the world will be a better place, where we can live together. Oh, Jah Jah, protect us with your love. Me tell your Father, demand them, spoil the world when they took the position to support Israel against them Palestinians.
Spoil the world.
We know for a fact, with no good intention, they mash up Iraq. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb, we in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah,
Protect us with your love.
me beg you, Father, please
Protect us with your love.
call His name, don't be ashamed. Oh, Father, please, Jah, call His name, call it out loud. Oh, Jah, Father, how many times you have called on mankind to fall in line? How many times you have shown us the signs, but we paid no mind. Locked up in vanity, there got to be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them, if together we can do this thing, the rights of everybody, the world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh, Jaja, protect us with your love. I tell your father, demand them. Spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy them. Spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh Father, please.
Protect us with your love.
How many times Babylon I try to trample me right? I tell your father in broad daylight, them put up a fight with a whole heap of hype and oppression. There must be another way. I told my folks one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh, Jaja,
Protect us with your love.
I say demand them. Spoil the world with the inequality, hatred and greed for the poor and the needy them. Spoil the world to rob and plunder other people's property, say insecurity. Spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah,
Protect us with your love.
oh Father, please.
Protect us with your love.
What can be done to convince the man to put down the guns and the bombs? Cause all where you turn is bomb after bomb, and more poor people dying. There gotta be another way. I told my people one day, me tell them if together we can do this thing. Honestly, protect the rights of everybody. The world will be a better place where we can live together. Oh, Jaja, protect us with your love. Me tell your father, demand them. Spoil the world when they took the position to support Israel against them Palestinians. Spoil the world, we know for a fact, with no good intention, they mash up Iraq. Them spoil the world from the womb to the tomb. We in the open to be blown away by a bomb because of association with the heathen. Oh, Jah.
It's estimated 1 in every 10 people in Grenada have the sickle cell trait. Having the trait does not mean you are sick or unhealthy. Very healthy people have the trait. Unfortunately, many of these people are unaware that they carry the trait. You see, when 2 people with the trait have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will be born with the sickle cell disease. That is why it is important to know if you have the trait. Sickle cell is associated with life-threatening conditions and it can be very painful. You see, the body's red cells can pass freely through the arteries and veins, but the sickled cells can get stuck, and this is what causes pain. This disease, you cannot catch it from someone. It is inherited. You are born with the trait or the full-blown disease. It comes from your parents. So let's talk sickle cell and what it is about and what can be learned about it and how to live with it. Let's all make better decisions about our family's health by learning the facts and getting tested. A message from the Sickle Cell Association of Grenada. Please call 458-6399 or email us at grenadasc@gmail.com.
Well, I'm so happy to have online at this time with me Kennisha Douglas. Kennisha has roots, great roots, deep roots in Caribou, now in the United States of America. And she had agreed to have this conversation with me in regards to our own preparedness and our own understanding of climate change. The environment these days have been so complicated in so many ways. Things are changing. The pattern that we knew is no longer there. So, Commissioner, I must say to you, welcome, and I appreciate the fact that we can speak about this very, very important matter. Welcome, and thanks for being part of this conversation.
Thank you very much, Milton.
Okay. As let's get straight into it at this time. We've been seeing around the world, not only here in the Caribbean or in Carriacou or Grenada. We've been seeing the effects and the impact of climate change, and how because of the lack of preparedness, the consequences are more than what we can bear. I will say that. So tell us about. Let me first ask you, why is it important for us to pay attention to this issue, climate change, the environment, and what we do with the environment? Why is it important for us to pay attention to that?
Okay, so Milton, before we go into why and ways we can operate to help change, we have to, first of all, explain what is climate change. What is climate change all about? And based on my studies that I have done, climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns. And we know that because of that, we have precipitation in the patterns, the atmospheric condition, and all of this is going to impact the environment and the earth itself. So that's first and foremost. Climate change is all about a long-term shift in the temperature and weather patterns, which will affect the environment on a whole. Also, we have to also take into consideration who is responsible for climate change or global warming. Obviously, it's not the environment. Obviously, it's not the earth. There must be someone responsible for that. And that someone points back to us as humans. We are responsible for climate change or global warming as it is put in other contexts in other parts of the world. We are the main driver or the main driving force of the current climate change that we are experiencing through our activities. For example, burning of fossil fuel, coal, oil, natural gases, the release of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, CO2 into the atmosphere are some of the things that contribute to climate change. For example, from my study and knowledge, these gases trap heat. And once this gases trap heat, it leads to global warming and the changes in the climate or the weather pattern. Rising sea level, which we have seen all over the place, and disruption of our ecosystem. So with climate change and global warming, so many things get affected in it, our ecosystem. And the ecosystem consists of the earth and what is in the sea. First and foremost, we need to know that the ecosystem consists of more than one thing. So I just want to bring this and to put this here out front before we diverge deeper into it. Climate change is basically a long-term shift in the temperature and weather pattern. Human beings, we are responsible for climate change or global warming through our activities. CO2 released into the atmosphere, it releases greenhouse gases, and when that's trapped with the atmosphere, it gets it warmer, and the warmer it gets, it's more dangerous, for example, with a hurricane. Based on what was tracked and seen with Beryl, it was understood because of the warmth of the sea, Beryl was able to stay around the region so long as also with some other hurricanes. So we have to understand this before we go into, okay, how could we change? What factors? How could we make a difference and try to salvage what is left?
Well, I think I appreciate that. So you, in the context of what we speak, you put it in perspective. And we now have an idea as to what is climate change. You mentioned that it is people, us humans, that are mainly responsible for whatever we see happening. What are some of the activities? We'll go on to the question I asked earlier on, but what are some of the things that you will regard as wrong activities or activities that we should not be engaging that can lead towards climate change?
For example, not talking about the outer world, like where we have coal and oil and natural gas and fossil fuel, but for example, back home, the cutting down of trees is a perfect example.
Okay.
Trees are there for many reasons. The roots of some of these trees anchored into the earth prevents erosion, soil erosion. It prevents water from going places that will cause severe damage. It helps to break the wind. It's like a windbreaker. It helps to give us oxygen, O2, because the trees will take in carbon dioxide in the night and release O2 in the day so we can breathe. So, in other words, when we do all this deforestation or we cut down all these trees, what do we expect going to happen when a hurricane blows in?
Yeah.
There is nothing to protect us.
Yeah.
Taking it a little further, if we have no trees, we have no oxygen, what is going to happen to our health? So some of the things that we do, like burning stuff and all this thing, pollution, all this contributes to climate change. So we have to be a little more cognizant of the actions we continue to engage and we continue to do, how it affects our climate. And once the climate is affected, ultimately, we are affected.
Good. I understand that. I think it's very, very important that we take responsibility for our actions and know that our actions, it has consequences. There are consequences to our action. And I think this conversation that we are having is intended to, and I must say here, it is a series of discussions we're going to have intending to help us to reverse that situation, mind our ways, our actions, mind what we do, be careful what we do. And that can make an impact on reducing the impact of climate change in our island. All right, so now the question is, I mean, I don't know if we have answered it before in our conversation, but why is it necessary? Why is it important? Why is it important for all of us here in Carriacou and Kitty Martinique, of course, by extension, Grenada, to be mindful, to pay attention to our actions, as we have just said, in dealing with climate change?
Okay, so Milton, when I look at this question, or I really analyze this question, it belongs to one thing. Understanding the importance of environmental issue is very crucial for the health of the planet. Because as said before, the destruction of the planet or whatever happens to the planet directly affects every aspect of life. Human life, animal life, plant life. Our physical well-being, the economy, and society gets affected. And I would like to break it down into a few categories. One, the importance of understanding environmental issue, the sustainability. We must have an awareness of environmental problems and the guide to practice sustainability to ensure the future of our planet, the future of our generation, and have the resource that is needed. Also, we have to also remember about what we call biodiversity preservation, how we protect the environment, how we support the environment and the vast amount of species that is found in the environment and the ecosystem. We have to understand there's an interconnection of life with what is in the ecosystem and human beings. And if we start losing our species of what has been placed here in the environment, or also the damaging of the ecosystem, then there becomes an imbalance. Maintaining the balance of nature will be lost. We will not have the beauty of seeing a nice forest or we didn't have the beauty of seeing beautiful plants. We would not have the beauty of seeing the animals, or even under the sea. You could go snorkeling and see all the nice fishes there, all the colorful fishes. We would not have that if the ecosystem is destroyed. So biodiversity preservation is essential. Okay, moving further than that, human health, which I talked about earlier, about us getting in oxygen. We need oxygen to stay alive. We need oxygen to breathe in, because that's what diffuses into our lungs and help us to move, help us to have some form of respiratory activity, so we could breathe in the oxygen and be able to move. So our health will be targeted. For example, as I said before, pollution and deforestation, etc. Things like that could lead to serious health problems, even respiratory problems. And we know a lot of air pollution cause waterborne diseases in many other different countries, because whatever is in the air eventually ends up in our water system. And then we drink that. Once that is consumed, if the water is contaminated, who is going to get it? Who is going to intake that contamination? Where is that contamination of that water source is going to go? In us as human beings. So there are issues that will come along with all this. Once the system becomes polluted, goes into the water, we drink the water. Thank God there are many countries that has treatment that you could treat the water and make it adaptable for drinking. But what about the other countries that does not have this proper system to drink the water? They have to drink the contaminated water. And then you see disease happening, adults, children dying. So it's so much. Also, economic growth. We have to also look at the economic growth, or the standpoint of economic growth. A healthy environment supports agriculture, fishing, tourism, and many other sectors. The environment is not healthy, we wouldn't have a great agriculture year or agricultural produce, because the pH says a lot. If the soil is too acidic, the environment is too acidic, nothing could thrive there. You must have like an alkaline, balanced pH for anything to thrive. Same with our fish. If the system is too acidic, we're going to find all our marine life or aqua life dying. A few years ago, there was an issue where so many fish was showing up dying, and they tried to figure out what, but I believe it was the acidity of that water that caused that. So that is also being destroyed. And obviously, when everything is destroyed, tourism, you must have something to offer tourists. Many people like to go into nature. They want to get away from the bustle, especially if you're coming from the cosmopolitan world or the diaspora or some other places, with the hustle and bustle of every day, with all the structure in the city and stuff. People want to go where they can get a nice beach, white sand beach, to relax. The water is nice. The water is good. People like to go to the rainforest to see the different species and everything, the flora and fauna that is available in the rainforest. People take vacation because they want a difference. They want to get into nature and kind of have that tranquility. So if all of this is damaged, what do we have to offer? So obviously that is going to take a beat into. Another thing we have to be mindful of in economic growth, over exploitation or over exploiting of our resources can be harmful to us too, and to the environment.
Right now, I feel like I'm in a class trying to learn and understand, because no, what you're saying is accurate, and I think makes so much sense. And I want our people to stop and think and to reconsider our actions, because as you have explained, our actions, irresponsible actions, can lead to economic depravity, it can lead to health challenges, it can lead to just survival. So I think what you are saying is so, so important. And Kenisha, we have agreed that we're going to be doing a series of conversations on this. And I think you have just laid the basis and the framework for us to go into this and to help us to reconsider the consequences of our actions. And so I think this year would give us an opportunity to stop and think and say, wow, I mean, I can make a difference. I mean, we all can make a difference by our actions. I think that's this conversation for the next episode of trying to understand our responsibilities and our connection to the environment and how do we tackle climate change. So as we end this first part, just tell us something that you want us to remember as we go forward, because the next episode, will continue the conversation and go deeper into getting us to understand that our actions must be tempered with common sense.
Okay, Milton. So, as I said, with all this, we must have an action, climate action, as I would put it. And we have to understand the environmental issues that helps to drive the global action and the climate action that we are now facing. And we have to find ways to help mitigate and to adapt changes to help our climate. Yes, some might say, oh, well, it's already done. The damage is already done. We could agree or disagree with that. Whichever side you choose, it's okay. But there is still something that we can do. So the question is now, what will you do to help the climate or the environment from being further deteriorated? And that's the question that I would like to leave. What will you do as an individual to help the climate or the environment from being further deteriorated? Because there are actions that we do that we are not cognizant of or might not know of that helps in the pollution process, which in the long term affects our environment. So I just want to leave that there. And when we proceed, we'll talk about other things about the impact of climate change in a more broader term. And we will go in some more into other things that really help to affect our environment and affect us as a whole.
Well, let me say thank you very much, Kennisha. I've been speaking there with Kennisha Douglas and examining the impacts, and first of all, us get people to understand what is exactly climate change and why we need to protect and preserve the environment that we are in. And our next conversation will continue that, trying to zero in on what we can do, because we all do have a role to play, what we can do to mitigate against all these things that we are seeing as a people. So once again, Kennisha, thank you so very much, and looking forward to the next conversation when we can go further into it.
Okay, it was my pleasure being here and being able to share with you on the climate. It's something that I've become passionate about within the last 6 months. And I've already made a promise to, when I'm finished with all this school and everything, that I can be an activist and a voice for climate, because I've seen what it did to my homeland, the havoc it has brought on the people, and still trying to pick up the pieces from there. So if I'm called to share that information, so be it. And I thank you for choosing me to do this program with you. I appreciate you thinking that I'm worthy. So I just hope I did justice to it.
Yes, I think you did. So once again, thank you, and we'll continue the conversation as we go on to help keep hope alive. We need to keep hope alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Yes.
Tossed and battered, bruised and knocked down, forever changed. But from the rubble, hope rises. The Optimist Show returns.
It's estimated 1 in every 10 people in Grenada have the sickle cell trait. Having the trait does not mean you are sick or unhealthy. Very healthy people have the trait. Unfortunately, many of these people are unaware that they carry the trait. You see, when 2 people with the trait have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will be born with the sickle cell disease. That is why it is important to know if you have the trait. Sickle cell is associated with life-threatening conditions, and it can be very painful. You see, the body's red cells can pass freely through the arteries and veins, but the sickle cells can get stuck, and this is what causes pain. This disease, you cannot catch it from someone. It is inherited. You are born with the trait or the full-blown disease. It comes from your parents. So let's talk sickle cell and what it is about and what can be learned about it and how to live with it. Let's all make better decisions about our family's health by learning the facts and getting tested. A message from the Sickle Cell Association of Grenada. Please call 458-6399 or email us at grenadasc@gmail.com.
Well, that's it. And we want you to like, share, follow this podcast so that you can get more information, in-depth information. As a matter of fact, you can always rely on the Optimist Show to get accurate, reliable information right here as we seek to keep hope alive.